The podcast you are about to hear contains graphic language and adult content.
Sorry, moms. Welcome back to Existential Crisis. It wasn't gonna be a song, but then I said it so rhythmically.
I love your little songs. Okay, that was more of like a scat or like a jazz rap.
Yeah, it was like inspired by Stomp, the musical. Direct influences there.
I laugh, but I probably would really enjoy Stomp the musical. I'm a big Blue Man Group fan, so.
There was, I've gotten, I don't know how closely we've been following my dating chronicles on this podcast.
Yeah, give us an update.
I was off the apps for like a month and a half, which felt really good. And because I was feeling really good, I was like, you know what? I need to hate myself again. So I need to re-download the apps. But I was on one of them and there was a picture of a man as the Blue Man Group. Whoa. And I was like, he was like as a blue man. And I wasn't sure if it was like for Halloween or if he was like, I feel like it's illegal as a blue man to reveal your identity. So I feel like it had to have been non-official, non-authorized, right?
I don't know how illegal it is. It is just blue face paint and like a turtleneck.
They take you out back.
They
take you out back and shoot you if you reveal yourself to be a blue man. Yeah. I'm saying like if he is an actual blue man, it probably is against his contract to reveal he's a blue man. Sure.
If you are a blue man, you probably can't be using your blue your blue sona as a dating profile.
For clout.
Although God, you're right. I don't think I would definitely be deep in Blue Man Group TikTok if it were a thing. And now I'm concerned it's a thing and I'm missing out.
I think it is a thing and I think you are missing out. I think you should be concerned, actually.
Oh my God. I think I need to reconfigure my algorithm.
Yeah, sorry. I'll give you a couple hours. Go for it, buddy. But yeah, there was a picture of a guy dressed up as a blue man and I was like, my first thought was, Talon would like this.
I would swipe right. Is that the good one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I swiped left. He wasn't, unfortunately, ticking all the boxes, I like a man who speaks in words, not in percussive banging against objects.
That's fair. But let me tell you a couple reasons why I think it would be great to date a blue man.
Please.
They're great listeners, for one. Mm-hmm. Really great listeners. They can fit a lot in their mouth. That's just true. Marshmallows, other things, I'm sure.
I don't know if that's much of a concern for me. So
no?
I'm not going to get
All right, maybe that doesn't apply to you so much, but for some out there.
I guess there are things. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, good with rhythm. Do you think it'd be funny if I made some stickers that said Blue Lives Matter, but it had pictures of the Blue Man Group on it?
Okay, I honestly think it would be hilarious. I think it would be so funny, and I think I would buy one of those for my bumper.
All right. I might have a Photoshop project for myself.
That's kind of absolutely hilarious, actually. How has no one done that?
I'd have to check to make sure no one has, but if no one has, it's going to be me.
That's incredible. I am dazzled right now.
I think we should reclaim it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you should reclaim it, and I'll financially support that.
Good. Proceeds we can surely make go towards a worthy cause, and not just me. But I would just love to have one of those bumper stickers.
I would love that. That would actually make my day. But yeah, maybe I am convinced that dating a blue man would be a good idea. Yes. I'm not convinced that it would be better than dating a doodle bop.
Remind me,
because the raw sexuality of a doodle bop really appeals.
I have to remind myself of the doodle bops.
The doodle bops were a little after our time, to be fair. However, if you were babysitting kids in high school like I was, you did get exposure to the doodle bops. I remember specific. There's one named Mo he's the orange one, I think.
Yep.
He's got it going on. I'll say that much.
They have a lot. They all have a lot going on.
Dripping with the swag, dripping with it, absolutely with the Riz, as the kids say it. You know about Riz?
Yes. Okay, Riz. Riz is a term I do see popping up a lot, and I'm not going to try. You know it when you see it. We all
know the Riz when we see the Riz. And I also don't want this to turn into two old people who are definitely disconnected from internet culture discussing it. But
I'm trying to be cool and just know in my heart that I know it. Like
yeah. Like I never want to be put like gun to head and somebody be like, explain what Riz it. Like that wouldn't be good.
But no one sounds cool explaining slang, period.
No.
Period.
Nobody sounds cool explaining slang because it should just be something you know.
Yeah.
But
that's a fun one.
The doodle bops. Dripping with Riz, as some might say.
I'm trying to think of what, like, child live action shows, you know, for me, I guess it'd be like Bananas in Pajamas for me.
Oh.
Would you want to date one of the bananas in the pajamas?
Yeah, I guess I would.
Which one? Right? Are you a right banana guy or are you a left banana guy?
Does it hang to the right or does it hang to the left? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Bear in a Boo Boo house. He's a homeowner, so.
Oh my God. I thought for a moment, I just thought you said he's a homo. I was like, whoa, we're really exposing some biases here on this evening's podcast.
The bear, but
I mean, you know what? Honestly,
probably
now that you say that, it is all lining up. He is a bear. So I also really liked the voice of the mouse. I don't know that I could do the voice of the mouse. I just remember really being like wanting that in my ears a lot as a child.
I see.
As I seem to recall, it had like a kind of weird smoker's voice, which
like the Quiznos rats or whatever.
Yeah, were they rats?
What were they? What were they?
The Quiznos, were they
mice?
Hamsters? I feel like early 2000s marketing really went through like a hamster obsessed phase because like we had the Kia Soul hamsters.
Yeah, which I think they replaced, but they're still using animals.
Yeah.
I think they're animated, I think now.
Hamsters got canceled, so.
Yeah, we got a hold of their tweets and it was early Twitter too. I mean, it should have been deleted by now.
Yeah, and you can't just, say it was of the time, okay? Hamsters, they were being even for the time, they were being egregious.
I'm trying to look up what these things Spong monkeys. Sponge monkeys? Spong monkeys.
Excuse me?
That's the name I am seeing for the weird Quiznos. Okay, what are the Quiznos rats called? Answer. They look like deformed rats, but in fact, they're called spung monkeys. We don't know what that means either.
Spung sounds definitively like a euphemism for cum. There's no way to spin that doesn't make that sound like cum.
Maybe it's pronounced sponge monkeys, but it doesn't have the E at the end of the sponge part. So I'm inclined to say spong monkeys.
I hate this so much. We're really a mascot obsessed podcast, and if we ever run out of things to talk about for this podcast, we're just going to start a second one about mascots where we just discuss different mascots.
Mascot culture is really something. And you're right, the 2000s had it best. Nowadays, advertising, too sleek. Everything's trying to be too pretty, too cool.
I agree. As a person who works in advertising, I am constantly using those old Gushers commercials as the place I'm trying to shove us.
Yes.
With the weird fruit head children. Yeah.
I've seen people on the internet who actually grew up with the phobia that if they ate Gushers, their head would turn into a giant fruit. Yeah,
and that's lasting impact, folks.
Yeah.
You want to get back to
that. I want to be afraid to drink Capri Sun because I might turn into the Silver Surfer and lose control of where I'm going.
That did always scare me. Was like, no bones, no flesh, all silver.
All silver.
Were they trying to say there's lithium in... Isn't that...
Or mercury.
Mercury. Lithium's what's in the pills you take when you're bipolar. Whoops.
There you go.
Silly mistake.
Well, don't mix those up.
Don't mix those up.
Don't mix your mercury and your lithium.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Should we start the podcast?
Yeah. Let's start it before I Silver Surfer myself out of here.
It's bug monkeys.
You caught my eye in the grocery line, and I fancied myself a man worth your time, and I couldn't help thinking, I wish you were mine, a man-seeking woman whose total is 589. I don't
podcast for listener. Saw you and want to meet up. Please don't shoot me down like a Chinese spy balloon. It's time for another Craigslistential Crisis, the show where we take the misconnection section into new directions. I'm Talon Bigelow.
And I'm Sarah Thompson, and we're here for another week of diving into the misconnection section, which is a special little place on Craigslist that's a free message board for times when you've met a stranger, you thought you had a moment with them, but then you failed to act on it. So now you're posting it on the internet in the hopes that a stranger might just reach back out to you and see this on the World Wide Web, on Craig's list, specifically.
Craig Almighty's list. And it's kind of a special one. Like, we didn't plan anything, but, like, I feel like post-Valentine's Day is definitely, it's a festive season on the site, on Misconnections.
I would say, like, Halloween is probably the biggest holiday for Misconnections, for sure.
Anything where people get drunk en masse really will do it.
Yeah. And then even outside of church.
Okay.
That was for my Catholic school kids out there. Really.
They're laughing. They're
for you
not
guys.
too
They're
quiet. They got to keep it hush-hush so the nuns don't hear them. Were you allowed to listen to podcasts in Catholic school? Did they exist yet? I don't know.
No, you just had to sit there and, like, you would, like, pick something to count. Like, you'd be like, I'm going to count how many gold bits of filigree are in this room. Or, like, I'm going to count how many panels of wood there are on that wall. And that's how you entertain yourself during church.
This explains a lot.
Yeah, so if you ever want to release a podcast like that, I'm really good at it.
Sure. Counting things with Sarah.
Perfect.
Occasionally Talon. All right, well, the other thing we do here is we like to cherry pick the best misconnections, and then we provide them for each other to cold read on the spot for you. I haven't seen Sarah's. Sarah has not seen mine. I feel like we should get started. Do you want to start with one of mine?
I'd love to. Get me a woman. I'm not from your Weirdaverse. Hey, this should be so easy. It used to be. Love here now. And I just gotta say, I feel the sentiment. I feel the sentiment as a woman, as a person, as a human on the dating apps. I hear it, love here now.
Love here now.
This person's just putting their manifesting skills to work.
What do you think the Weirdaverse is like?
I think it's like here, but everything's just a little different. Like, not different enough. And I'm not talking like Mandela effect different. I'm talking like everyone's got purple skin, or like, or the sky is orange. Maybe
so, like,
both those things.
Like a weird Star Trek universe, something they could do with low budget.
All right. Well,
this universe is in black and white.
Yeah, exactly. Or like everyone has like 3 fingers instead of 5 on each hand.
Yeah.
The crazy stuff like that. Weirdaverse. I don't know what the Weirdaverse this person is specifically going towards. I haven't found that the problem with dating nowadays is that people are too weird. I don't think that's the problem at all.
I wouldn't know, but I'd assume, you don't got to be weird to be dating out there. Maybe
I wish
it helps.
people were weirder. I wish people were weirder.
There should be a dating app for weird people.
I would like to enter the Weirdaverse, actually. And there is a dating app for people who are weird, and it's called Craigslist.
Hey! Yeah, for real, though. Craigslist is, I guess, the best thing we got. That explains so much of, everything that happened on Nathan For You is because of Craigslist.
It's true. And also, it's also a big reason that we're still pulling from Portland misconnections is because you look at the misconnections down here in Los Angeles, and I'll tell you right now, it is just full of horn. There's no, and I appreciate a little horn here and there. It's what keeps the misconnection section spicy. But when it's all horn, you can't taste it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted to, I was following it like we were talking about food, but I don't know. I lost it. Maybe the metaphor was a little lost on me. I should also say, I didn't say this at the top of the show. I'm a little lacking sleep today. So if that might, have an impact on my performance. Not so much Feeney's, not so much yours.
I'm doing great.
You're doing great. You're going to carry the show. I'm just going to be at about 50%, and you're going to deal. I am the Weirdaverse now.
I become the Weirdaverse. Have you ever manifested anything successfully?
There's nothing I could solely attribute because I wanted it, except for like one time I was probably doing like an Instacart order, and I was like, I wish like a single order for like $40 would show up right now. And a few minutes later, it did. but I missed it.
That's powerful.
So I manifested it, but I lost it.
But you blew it.
I blew it. Have you?
I'll say I feel like I have manifested things, but I on one hand, I'll say the things that I think I've manifested, I think a lot of time are actually me just doing the thing and working to get there. And then at the end, me just magically forgetting that I did a bunch of hard work to get somewhere and then being like, oh, I just manifested it. And also I'm really good at manifesting people canceling plans.
Oh, that one is, I have done that.
Yeah.
I feel like even this week.
Like if I'm like, I don't want to go do this thing, but I don't want to cancel it. I'm really good at being like, God, I hope someone else cancels it. And then they usually do.
Yeah, I think a good strategy is just to like not check in about it until it's like the day of. And then
that freaks me out. That freaks me out because then I'm then I'm really leaving it up to chance.
Yeah. Well, that's manifestation, baby.
I guess. Can I read another one of yours?
Yeah, please.
Okay. I'm thirsty. Also, you picked more than I did this time. Thank you.
My cup runneth over. Have some.
Love God alone on Valentine. Quickly, I could do with one real woman, or get in line. I'm sorry, just kidding. What's up? Want to stop this whole alone thing and do something better? Well, if you do, now or ever, have possessed a uterus. Oh my God, get a hold of me. Sorry, that's a strange way of saying things. We are in strange times. I'm gonna be surprised in here if I get any replies that aren't dudes on here. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You're allowed to have your preferences, and I'm allowed to have mine. Well, interesting that this man is specifically attracted to uteruses.
Yeah,
and I think hits a I don't want to talk out of turn here, and I don't think either of us are necessarily qualified to do a real diatribe on this, but this is one of the things that I think is difficult about transphobia. Is our friends who are transphobic, who are not our friends, who are in fact garbage people, they often say, well, can you define what a woman is? And I'm going to tell you, I think you're a lady if you think you're a lady. That's how I define a woman. If you think you're a lady, yeah, hell yeah, man, you're a lady. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you man. You're a lady. I'm sorry. I'm goofing up.
It's a localization thing. I get that. Yeah, it's actually a lot simpler than we're making it, folks.
I would agree. And it sounds like this person, I think that I've also heard a lot from I'm a cis lady, and I've heard a lot from cis ladies who are like, what I don't like about trans people is it reduces us to our we can't call ourselves mothers or like we can't call ourselves mothers anymore. We have to call ourselves like the birthing parent. And that reduces us. And I'm like, actually, I think it's expansive to be called a birthing person. And also, I can call myself a woman. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not going to birth anyone. But, in the rare case that I did.
In the rare case.
In the rare case I did, I think that it's actually quite expansive. And it's like this guy. Like, this guy saying, well, I only like uteruses because those are what women have. I'm like, no, fuck you. That's not true. That's not what makes me a woman. My uterus? Hell no. I'm a woman because I feel like a lady. Man, I feel like a lady. And that's
what that Shania Twain song's about.
That's what the Shania Twain song's about. That's all I had to say. Did you hear that Bethany Hamilton came out as a TERF?
No, wait, who's this?
The one-armed shark girl. The shark surfer girl with one arm.
What?
She came out as a transphobe, dude. She was like, hey, if you're not a real lady, you shouldn't be surfing with ladies.
What?
And Bethany Hamilton, here's what I gotta say to you. You're wrong. That's what I gotta say.
Man. I mean, I didn't mean man.
We're really beefing it right now.
Really beefing it. Listen, that's stupid. That's dumb as hell. I just don't even have the energy to like get mad about it because I'm just like, that's just. They're the ones putting all this energy into like discounting other people, and it's just like wild. That takes so much effort. It takes so much effort.
You could have so many cool hobbies instead of this.
you could
be making so many potholders. You could be building so many sheds. You'd be cutting your grass all the time. You could have the nicest lawn in your county.
There are people literally on the internet just like reading comments and be like, "Oh no, No!
I'm under attack. My
Yeah.
gender's under attack because you identify as some. And it's like, if you were confident enough in your gender, I don't think anyone else identifying as that gender would shake you to your core as much as it is right now, my friend.
Yeah.
And that was Trans Corner with Talon and Sarah, asterisk, 2 people very unqualified to be talking about it.
Very unqualified. And we should probably have some qualified people on the show. And I have some ideas. I have some people in mind for future episodes, but that's
you've got binders full of trans women.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I could see that being problematic. Again, you're trying to get me canceled. You do this every episode. You're like,
I'm
what?
working so hard. God, I'm putting in so much work.
You're just trying to take over the pod.
I am.
Anyway,
Back to this misconnection.
trans rights. Fuck
Trans
TERFs.
rights. Fuck
Don't
TERFs.
play that Harry Potter game.
Yeah, you don't need it. It's not going to be good in the first place.
And the professor dies at the end anyway, no matter what. No matter what anything you try to get, it's always the same. The professor dies.
Professor's going to die.
Your professor's going to die. I read that the most common house placement was Slytherin, and I feel like that says something.
I think that says something about the kinds of people still willing to spend money to line J.K. Rowling's pockets.
And you know what? This isn't really related, but I've played some Star Wars multiplayer games too, and there's a little too many people enjoy being on the side of the First Order. What the fuck is that about? They're Nazis. They're space Nazis.
People love a fascist.
I've been driving around and seeing First Order bumper stickers on cars. I'm like, they're the bad guys, right?
That's insane. And then we're going to be driving around with our Blue Lives Matter stickers.
Our Blue Lives
With the
Matter
Blue Man Group
stickers.
on 'em.
That, not to be confused. Don't get it twisted. Don't
get
just
it
take this
twisted.
clip out of context, internet. I see you.
I see you trying to get us canceled.
Put the clipper away. Anyway, yeah. This misconnection really got away from this person in the way that this conversation got away from us. But
It did. And so funny because they tried to put such a veil of people got their preferences and I got mine.
yeah. Sorry, that's a strange way of saying things. It's just, you're allowed and I'm allowed. Look.
Do you think this guy knows that he's not going to interact with a uterus? Like, do you think he knows how sex works? Like,
I don't think so.
Do you think he knows that the uterus isn't going to really come into play here?
I think he's really looking forward to putting it in a uterus, and I don't like that.
I don't like the thought of that at all.
I don't like that at all. But
also, what do you think of the title here? Love God Alone on Valentine's Day. On Valentine, sorry. There's no day. On Valentine. And then it's the heart emoji with a bow on it, like a box of chocolates.
Yeah. I don't care for it. It just doesn't seem to apply to the rest of it.
It doesn't, and because if I saw somebody say "Love God Alone" on Valentine, I'd be like, "Oh, so you want me to join a nunnery?" Is what you're saying. But then this guy's like, "No, actually, I wanna fuck a lady." And then I take it back. I want to fuck somebody with a uterus.
Someone with a uterus.
I want to interact with a uterus on Valentine's Day.
Which is kind of fun. In a weird roundabout way, they are almost attempting to word it in a way that sounds more inclusive than if they were just like women, but they don't think they're doing that. You know what I mean?
No.
They're going so far around the circle of being kind of a bigot that they're kind of coming back around to almost being inclusive. Almost being the wrong way, using everything wrong, but almost phrasing it in a way that could include more people if they use maybe the right parts.
I also, I also, besides the circuity, I also love the like ethos of this. Like, I'm sorry, just kidding. What's up? Like, that is, I can hear this man saying that. I can hear this man nervously approaching me at a bar and saying, I could do with one real woman or get in line. I'm sorry, just kidding. What's up? Like, what a, yeah. If there's something I hate even more than a bigot, it's a bigot who's a real wimp about it.
Just can't even commit to the bigotry.
Can't even commit to it.
You're half-assing it.
Yeah, and not only bigotry, but also these are not mutually exclusive. But willing to open his hole for more than one woman.
Anyway, I'm going to take one of yours now. Blind Onion. I sat across from you and your daughters. I love you had a beer. I think you knew I was intrigued. There was no way I could interrupt your lunch. You are my hero, Mom. You gave me a wave as I left the restaurant, and it made my day. Thank you. I hope you somehow find this. Okay. Questions.
Yeah.
Mom?
Blind Onion is a restaurant.
Blind Onion is a pizza restaurant?
It is a pizza restaurant. Yes. It's got a very fun...
I guess they call it.
A pizzeria. A pisserie, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. And that's important to know.
That's important to know.
They also had a beer, and this person, Love You, had a beer.
And I just, I'm not here to rant, not here to really break someone down, but this really reads like one of those, sorry to say it, one of those men who's like, oh, you drink beer, and you're a woman? I thought you were gonna get one of those frilly pink drinks.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting here. Is like, whoa, a woman who drinks beer? My prayer's been answered.
Wait. She likes pizza and beer? It's the perfect woman.
But she better not be fat though.
She can't be fat, no fatties.
No fatties. But also,
if she likes football, I'm gonna bang her uterus so hard.
Ew. I hated that. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got here. And then also, you are my hero, Mom. Calling her mom with a capital M already.
Weird.
That's a thing.
You gotta pay for that usually.
You might want to discuss that with somebody who's a professional. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah. It threw me off. I get the vibe. Okay, first of all, are they calling them a hero mom? That's one thing. That's different. But that's not how it reads. It reads like they're referring to them as mom. Which is
sorry. Mommy, sorry.
Mama might even be better.
Mama, big mama. Big mama, totally.
Yeah.
Lil mama. I call people Lil Mama all the time.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah. You never heard me throw out a casual Lil Mama?
I'm going to listen for it now.
Yeah. Put your mama ears on. Because I'm coming in hot. Remember how I was going to have to carry the podcast? I'm not living up to it. So
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, a lot of different mama nicknames you could go with. Just mom with a capital M is
a little too maternal.
It's a bit, it skeeves me out a little. It gets a little like, what? And we weren't even done. You weren't even done after that. You want them to keep reading? You just called them mom. You call them mom in a way that like I've accidentally called a teacher mom. That's how it feels.
Yeah. I did once accidentally call a teacher mom. It was a male teacher.
Oh. Well, that's less bad, I guess.
It made both of us feel weird, though, for sure. And I would not like to repeat that experience. Yeah. So I'll be keeping those two separate in my head. You've called your teacher mom before? That you said that with the weight of somebody who has.
Yes, absolutely. And then, specifically, a woman, a teacher who was a woman, and I feel like
she owned a uterus.
She owned a uterus at one point, now or ever. And yeah, I feel like that feels a little more icky because it's definitely something felt natural about it in the moment that didn't make me think about it. Like it just kind of.
Well, I feel like it's a fair crossover.
It's fair. Like yes, this is a person who is temporarily in charge of me and
nurturing.
They're nurturing my intellect. I have to go to them for help. And I'm sure it happened in the context of they were giving me either something, like maybe they were giving me a paperback, or I asked for some help and they helped me, and I said thanks, Mom, and I said no, and then I silver surfered my way into the skilling and out of the classroom. I turned into Mercury.
You knocked back a Capri Sun so fast.
Just didn't even need the straw
as a way out. That's great. I've got another one from you here.
Take it away.
I refused your kindness in Montevilla. Outside of Academy Theater tonight, 3 young people approached and offered roses and a card for Valentine's Day. You all seemed sweet, and I said, I'm not in a position to receive kindness from strangers, and then started crying. I realized in hindsight that was an overreaction, and I wanted to apologize. It really is so kind of you all to offer something nice to people, and I panicked. I hope that others were able to take you up on that and say yes. Life can get very tough, and that got the better of me. Happy Valentine's Day to those 3 people. Maybe you'll see the Insta post if this makes it to that. Well, sure enough, it did make it to that. I saw this post earlier today, and I liked it.
Well, there you go. Prophecy fulfilled.
Yeah, that's good. I don't know if I should touch on my own Valentine's Day spiral or not, because I read this and I related to it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah, somebody I did not expect sent me a compliment for Valentine's Day. And I did not take it well. I panicked. And then I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I cried so much.
Yeah, that's a sandwich of emotion. Yeah,
it was a good night. It was a good night, honestly. But yeah, good is a relative term. It's a good movie. But so I read this and I really related to it about sometimes just like kindness really just hits you in the wrong place. And you're like, I could have done without that actually right now.
I'm curious about that. Like when you say, because, you know, I think when I read this.
Yeah.
I kind of envisioned it as someone who's just like, you know, things happen. You never know what state people are in, and maybe they just
absolutely. Not
even that they weren't like in the mood, but it's just like it just wasn't what they wanted at the moment in a way, and just like, you know, it was nice, but it's just like, you know, sometimes you just want to be left alone.
Yeah. I was reading it more of like sometimes when people are kind to you, it invites a kind of vulnerability that you aren't ready to feel, or like the feeling of somebody being kind to you softens you up in a way that like you have been a little hardened in order to carry on, and that the kindness of stranger comes in. This is directly relating to Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's really hard to be kind, and it's hard to receive kindness sometimes, especially if you're not in a super happy place. Yeah,
I mean, I feel that I've definitely been hardened by the world at times, and sometimes it is just like I need to remind myself. Another good reason to rewatch that movie. That just take it easy, be nice, be kind. It's sometimes that's the only thing that's important, and you know, we make up a lot of importances in our lives, don't we? We do, and we box ourselves into a way of thinking that traps us ultimately. Or that we feel overwhelmed by the chaos of the world and the darkness of the world and think that is the utmost rule, but it's not. Yep. Do you want to cry? Do you want to cry a little bit?
Do you want to have a cry together?
Just turn off the mics and play some sad crying music for like the next 2 minutes, and everyone can just cry with us.
Yeah, it'll be nice. Yeah, that'll be a crying corner. Talon and Sarah's crying corner.
We'll probably skip over that. But if that's something that sounded appealing to you, let me know, audience. Let me know, Craig's. I'll make sure to insert some crying corners into the next episodes.
I did purchase Everything Everywhere All at Once last night. I did not just rent it. I purchased it so we can watch together.
Yeah. I need to buy my own copy too. But I would love to buy yours. I would buy yours. I'd love to watch yours. Then you can come over and watch mine.
And it'll be equal sharing. Yeah, it was good. The first time I saw it was with you. Mm-hmm. And we saw it in public. And so I wasn't able to fully lose my mind. I was only slightly I was losing my mind in other ways because it is such a good movie. We're not a movie podcast, and I'll stop talking about it in a minute. But I lost my mind in a lot of ways. But then when it came to the emotional stuff, I was like, if I cry in somebody, I would rather be stabbed in the back of the head right now. So I was really holding it back. And then getting to watch it alone in the comfort of my own home last night was like a whole nother experience.
God, yeah.
That like was very cathartic in some ways, but also just devastating in others. Anyways, so I relate to you, person who wrote this. I get it. And a lot of times when we have emotional reactions to things, it feels like an overreaction or it feels like a panic moment. And it doesn't always necessarily, your reactions in the moment are still valid.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
We're all just on this floating rock trying to get by.
We are. And hey, shout out to those 3 people. That's super cute that they were going around to strangers and giving them. I love Valentine's Day. Like as a chronically single person, I think Valentine's Day is really nice because it's a holiday about love, and I like love, and I love a lot of people. I love a lot of my friends, a lot of them. Some I don't.
Some you will. I'm curious who's who, but yeah, no, I feel that. I do like this kind of rebranding as it just being It's just a day to show affection. Also, don't be afraid to do that other days, folks. I like chocolate every day. If you want to give me a little goodie, I'll never say no.
I don't know if y'all know this, but Talon's got a bit of a sweet tooth.
I have had so many sweet tooths, and then they get removed to do the cavities. But, or just, drilled in a little bit and filled in with a filling. Anyway, I like that all days. But yes, Valentine's Day, yeah, I think that's a goal. Be nice to a stranger. When was the last time you were nice to a stranger?
Wow.
Sarah?
Damn, call me out. When was the last time I was nice to a stranger? I don't know. Occasionally, I'll buy folks, houseless folks. I think the last time I did this was I was at line at a Burger King, and a houseless folk came up to me and was like, "Can you give me some food?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'll get you some food."
Hell yeah!
So I think that was probably the last time I did like a kindness for a stranger.
Nice.
Was the last thing you did?
Recently I did go to get gas, and I went to pay with cash, so I walked into the the gas shop. The gas shop. The gas store. I walked inside, I paid for my gas, and then I walked out. Well, someone right in front of me in line was attempting to gas up their car. It was an older lady, and she said she was having trouble getting her gas tank open. And she kind of did turn around and look at me with eyes that were like, "Can you help me?" And I was like, Do you need help? And you know what? I went out to go help her, and it took me even I feel like 5 minutes of being in her passenger, her driver's seat, trying to figure out where the fuck is the thing that opens the gas tank. I couldn't figure it out. She said it was her.
Yet again.
Her husband normally is the one who gasses up the car, and she was the one who was in it today. Anyway, eventually I did find it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Look at us doing stuff for strangers.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Give your friends opportunities to brag about being nice to strangers.
Yeah, give your friends opportunities to brag about what good people they are. Yeah. All right, I got another one for you. So go ahead and take it away, little guy.
Here we go. Dusty boy on the corner. You, covered in construction dust, down to your eyelashes, which was hot. Me, the redhead with bright orange beanie and gold hoops, baked out of her mind with her older gay friend, who you asked to take your top off. Caught you watching me as we walked away, and I was obviously looking back at you. Let me lick all that plaster dust off you and contract some sort of 1800s lung illness. This is very specific.
It's so specific, and I do have to say, it's a nice subversion. I'm of two warring minds here, because it's a nice subversion of the construction man trope.
Yeah.
However, as always, our golden rule is don't hit on people when they're at work.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
This is maybe this is equality and not equity,
There we go.
Yeah. This is there we should go. This happen? Maybe not, but it happened the other way for so long, it might as well happen this way some of the time.
Yeah. I also love the final line. Let me contract some 1800s lung illness. That's a great closing line. I would fall in love with that person immediately.
Yeah. Just say tuberculosis, though, right?
Is that not
tuberculosis
is what you get from inhaling asbestos?
I don't know how you get tuberculosis. I'm realizing right now in the moment.
It is a contracted disease. It passes from person to person. In fact, recently, I heard about, I think it's in Michigan, there's a woman currently who has tested positive for tuberculosis.
Great.
And the reason she has is because she's like an off-grade crunchy lady, and she refuses to be treated or quarantined for it. And so that is cool. So tuberculosis might be making a comeback, y'all.
It is really just human stubbornness that's going to kill us all, isn't it?
It really is.
People being like, I think I know best.
What's the one you get from inhaling asbestos? I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's just I'm laughing because I feel like I should know this.
Yeah. No. Death by asbestos is never
asbestos lung. Mesothelioma is what I was thinking. Those are those ads that would come on late at night when you're watching game shows at like 2 a.m.
If you or a loved one have been affected by mesothelioma, call this number. And
I wonder if mesothelioma also makes you stay up really late at night and watch bad television. Because they were hitting it hard.
Well, then I definitely have it.
Targeted marketing. Oh my God, your poor lungs.
This was great, though. I like also just the phrase construction dust.
Construction dust is also nice. I also, the beautiful imagery of construction dust on your eyelashes. Like, that's so romantic. I feel so Jane Austen reading this.
Jane Austen really should have written something about a construction worker.
She really should have. And plenty of people did contract 1800s lung illnesses, though, in her bits.
Well, there you go.
There you go. All right, I got another one from you.
All right.
Mitsubishi front end damage. You are always parked in the church parking lot reading. You waved hello a few times. I would like to get to know you better. All right. Who's going to church in this scenario?
Yeah, good question. I feel like this reader, this
writer,
person in the car, I should say, the reading person. This is like an act you would play to like try to look good in public, right? Like pull up in a church parking lot.
People do read. I will say that much.
No.
Reading's not so out of fashion.
I don't know. But I'm not saying people don't read. But if I wanted to be caught reading, specifically in a church parking lot, I don't know. What is that?
Yeah. I guess
you're like waiting between church sessions?
Oh, do you think they're reading the Bible?
Maybe. Just brushing up. Maybe it's a pastor.
Brushing up.
Maybe it's they're about to go deliver a sermon and they're like, fuck, what was the parable again I needed for my sermon? Was it Matthew? Is it in Matthew?
They're studying for the pop quiz that is Mass.
There you go.
You know, it's good.
Is that how?
Up.
I'm not a churchgoer. Is that how Mass works? Is
hell
it a pop
for
quiz?
You.
Oh shit!
Oh,
you heard that right? Was it just I heard something? Was that
No.
you? What? You didn't hear
No.
it? Something?
Hell,
Okay.
Hell for you.
What the hell is that?
Why, Talon? Why do you keep freaking out?
Someone? It's not you? Okay. Never mind. How does Mass work?
This is the worst, most uninteresting subject we could go through. Yeah, all right. I'll play ball. So you go to church, you go inside church, the priest welcomes you, you all sit down, you sing a song usually.
What? Like
good vibes flowing.
Good vibrations?
Get a good vibration going. And then you usually have, two-ish readings, one from Old Testament, one from New Testament. Get your whistle wet. And then there's usually some songs. There's some songs in between. And then there's usually a responsive psalm where the reader reads something and then you say something back to them. And then they read something, you say something back to them.
Oh.
And then there's a couple more songs. And then if you're Catholic, this is where the real show begins.
Oh, shit.
We really do some major ceremony for communion. So the cup gets paraded around, the bread gets paraded around, they get put in front of the table in front of the priest. The priest is like, Jesus, please magically turn this into your actual blood and your actual flesh.
And does it work?
Well, I wouldn't know because I was never allowed to take communion because I'm a heathen.
Wait, were you not allowed because it's everyone does.
I wasn't Catholic, so I wasn't allowed to.
That's the distinction.
That is the distinction. I was a heathen Protestant.
Wild.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. This is like, I guess this is probably what it's like to like not be an MCU fan and have someone explain to you the plot of like,
Let me tell you,
WandaVision.
The Jesus multiverse is nuts, dude. There's this guy and he's 3 people at once. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's crazy.
That's wild.
Because Jesus, was sent to die, but he wasn't sent to die because it was him sending himself to die. But they were 2 separate people. Anyways.
That is a little confusing.
No, it's perfectly logical. So then you do a little communion. Everyone gets up, snacks, has a little snack. Everyone sits back down. More songs are sung.
How long does this go for?
Oh my God, like an hour at least.
Damn.
That's on the short side. Probably an hour 30.
Okay. I've definitely what have I done? I went to I remember I have a memory of my parents. What have I done? I have a memory of my parents taking us to a church one time, and I think I've told the story where I ended up with like the kids group, and someone was doing like skits, little Jesus skits, and they were doing the the classic foot bathing story.
Oh, the skit. Yeah, we love the foot bathing
classic
skit.
That was something that really turned me off early. I'm not going to tell that again. But I just like, it's just weird that I also like, who are my parents trying to impress? What? Why?
God.
Well, yeah. But who living? Who alive? What person in flesh were they trying to convince we as a family went to church that made us go this like one time and then never again?
I love it. Maybe they just suddenly had a scary dream.
Oh my God.
Maybe they had a scary dream about the world ending and we're like, maybe we should just go just in case.
Just go to church. They both had the same dream. Maybe one thing if one of them had it, but if me and Elena both had the same scary apocalyptic dream, I might be like, maybe we should go to a Bible study.
Just once and read your Bible.
Read your Bible. Yeah.
I've got another one from you here.
Okie dokie.
Chump Drive. Oh? Who are you to talk, mofo? You're less than a year younger, but look, 10 years older. Cat's in the cradle. Just think about it. You'll get it. Well, I hope somebody gets it, because I don't.
Well, we just have to think about it. So
we just have to think about it.
So
Maybe
Cat's
it's
in the Cradle.
maybe it's because I don't live on Chump Drive.
Well, I probably wouldn't want to be affiliated with anyone who lives on Chump Drive.
You don't want to be a resident of Chump Drive?
I don't think so.
All right, that's an interesting choice.
What if it's Chump Doctor?
Oh, that's probably what it is.
I don't know for sure, but
This guy's got an ailment that nobody can cure. Well, there is one man who could cure it. It's the Chump Doctor.
Yeah.
Fix you right up. He's got one of those big plates on his forehead. What was up with that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about, and I was going to try and
What's going
describe
on
it
there?
like I knew what I was talking about, and I was like, I have no idea.
Like, what is that?
Just a
Why is
saucer
that
for their
there?
like teacup? I don't know.
Maybe it like amplifies their thoughts.
It enhances their mind power by making their brainwaves times 10 in
Yeah,
radius.
they beam good vibes. They beam good vibes at you. Well,
Yeah.
that's not true if you've ever met a doctor. Anyways.
Back then they didn't have x-ray machines. They would just like put that thing on and it would allow the doctor to just kind of just get a vibe from you. Just feel you out.
Vibe-based.
Be like, yeah.
Vibe-based doctor, for sure.
I don't feel cancer, so I think you're good.
Walk on out of here.
Yeah.
Cat's in the Cradle and the Silver Spoon.
Little boy blue.
Little
and the
boy
man on the
blue.
moon.
Man in the moon. When you coming home, dad? Boy?
Yeah.
Sir? I don't know when.
Someone else knows this.
Someone else knows this, and it's frankly none of our business.
But what is that song about?
It's about dads and sons, I think. It's about the father-son relationship.
That was my assumption. Yeah. But then I was like, am I just thinking of the song, is it Father and Son by Cat Stevens? See, the name Cat Stevens, Cats in the Cradle,
Cat in the Cradle.
Father Son songs, I'm getting all mixed up, you see? But I think that's...
I feel like Cat
You're right.
Stevens also did a cover of this song.
Well, that's even more confusing.
It is. Don't think about it too hard. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Okay.
Here's
I have a definition.
please.
It's not what we think. Google says, if you hear someone today use the expression cats in the cradle, they're likely describing a relationship in which one person doesn't make enough time for the other.
Wow, this actually did have a meaning. Okay, color me shocked.
Me too.
Damn. All right.
I don't understand the first part of this, but the second part now makes sense.
Yeah. I guess, somebody's just feeling a little neglected. Which is fair.
Even though you're less than a year younger, but you look 10 years older, and I guess
Damn.
you don't make enough time for me.
Neglect will do that to you.
You chump doctor.
You chumped up this time. All right, I got another one for you.
Okay, I'd like to take it. You get in the cradle in the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. Team Edward. I was walking back from the bathroom last night, Saturday, at Slammers, when I saw you and asked if anyone had ever told you you looked like Robert Pattinson. You laughed and said your name was actually Edward. I only had fries and aioli on my mind at that point and needed to go to deal with that. I was halfway through a basket of fries when I realized I should go back to Slammers and give you my number. By the time I went back, you were gone. Whop, whop. I thought you were so cute and had the nicest smile I've maybe ever seen. I'm pretty sure you need my number.
All the twihards out there, speak up. I'm saying, somebody's living your dreams out there.
Yeah, I'm more of a Team Jacob guy. So
I agree. I'm also the same. I feel like we've had this discussion for sure before.
Oh, absolutely. So we don't need to get into it right now. But I understand the conflict this person had of having fries and aioli on the mind when you're trying to.
I do
other
appreciate
things.
that. Yeah, it's fries and aioli are always going to take precedence, and I applaud you for realizing that is what you needed.
Yeah, honestly, reading this, no joke, it made me hungry. And I ate dinner. I ate dinner before this, and now I'm thinking about fries and aioli, and that's all I got in the mind.
That's all you got in the. Just get some fancy mayonnaise and put some garlic in it, and you're good.
Oh my god, I'm out of mayonnaise. I just ran out of mayonnaise. I can't even make an aioli. I can't.
Oh
even
my god,
make
that's
one.
so embarrassing for you.
And I want to be clear. I only use mayonnaise to make other sauces. I'm not just raw dogging.
It's crazy that you're just eating spoonfuls of mayonnaise while you're talking to me on the phone right now.
That's not what's happening.
You never need to make that sound again.
No, you didn't like that? That's just this is me and my mayo cup.
You know what?
It's like a Jell-O cup, but
Somebody
it's
cut
mayo
that
instead.
And get them canceled.
It's a single serving cup of mayonnaise.
Oh. I hate this.
I hate it too. This is why I had to be clear. I am not just dipping anything in mayo. If I'm using mayo, it's part of something else. It's part of another side. It's binding other flavors together. Maybe a sriracha, maybe a wasabi. I don't know. Lots of things.
All right. Sounds like a lot of explanation. Sounds like a lot of explanation for one man to go through. You know what I'm saying?
I know, and I just didn't want it assumed about me, and I understand I might be protesting too much.
The lady, methinks.
Yeah.
Well, before you incriminate yourself anymore, I've got another one from you.
All right.
Sweet chopsticks bartender. Like so many of my sleazy alcoholic predecessors, I drunkenly forgot to close out my tab at Chopsticks Karaoke Bar on Saturday night. I walked in on Super Bowl Sunday, tail between my legs, fully expecting to get rightfully charged extra for the crime of browning out and prematurely evacuating the premises before collecting the bill. But there you stood, calm as a blonde winter wolf, chest tattoo emblazoned against pale, supple skin. You asked for my ID, then handed me a card, and with a humbled gasp, I realized that you had only charged me for the single Tom Collins I ordered. I crossed out the $1 predetermined tip and instead put 3, a 60% tip, but I truly don't think I can ever repay such patience and compassion. Thank you from the bottom of my sleazebag heart, arteries now clogged with love, and not Chopstick's amazing bad good Chinese food. How can be forever? Love, Hemingway Gangbang Society. Lots to discuss here, and we're gonna rattle through it and tell you.
Let's get there.
Let's get there. All right. A. Real interesting description of this person. A blonde winter wolf with pale supple skin. Oddly in conversation with our previous misconnection that you read that I found. Are werewolves and vampires taking over the town of Portland? They've handled Forks and now they're moving to the big city.
Yeah, Portland would be the place where werewolves and vampires would have their showdown. I think that makes sense.
And for those of you in the know, you'll know that Portland was the location for many of the original Twilight scenes. So
yes,
not completely out of the world. Also, love the fixation on how much extra tip they left.
Oh my God.
Really, really overdoing it there, buddy.
This is the most roundabout way to say you tipped $2 instead of like $2 extra on top of $1. Like, it's just at this point it sounds like you're bragging about it a little bit. If you really like a person that much and that way of showing it is a $3 tip, I don't know if you like them that much.
Yeah, and also you don't have to pay them to make them like you.
You don't, but if that's what you're trying to do,
of your heart. Just do it out of the goodness of your heart, man.
Just do it out of the goodness of your heart. But if that was your goal, to make a big to-do about it, go bigger. Even a $10 tip.
$400.
Yes. They basically would have to go out with you.
Legally,
if you tip me $400, I'm yours for a night.
I would. Well, you should charge more.
I'll take what I can get, and then I will consider raising my prices accordingly.
Fill out your clientele.
Yeah.
And also there was one other thing. Oh, brownout. And I feel like we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
When I hear brownout, I immediately think that you got so drunk you shit your pants. And I don't think that that's what it means. I think they're playing with blackout. Like, you're not fully blacked out. You're browned out.
Yes.
But there's no way. Just say you were a little faded. You don't need to say brown. I am going to assume you shit your pants.
It's weird that brown is like the lesser form of black in that case. Like, it doesn't make sense really just linguistically. I think we need a new term for browning out. That is, what is the, pair it with blackout. If blackout's going all the way, blackout is almost theatrical, like you see, lights go down, done, the end, nothing else. And then you wake up. I feel like there needs to be like a fade out. And as you said, faded. I think it works. I think
works perfectly.
Instead of blacked out, you're fading out.
And if you really did brown out, I'm going to tell you right now, that extra $2 of the tip, that ain't gonna make anyone fall in love with you.
Nah.
$2 for a number 2? Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Anyway.
Hemingway gangbang society.
And then there's that, and I don't know what to do with it. I
don't know that we need to do anything with it.
I don't know either. I'm just wondering, is it a society of people who look like Hemingway who are gangbanging?
Who indulge in gangbanging?
Because that would be a very hairy, like, white-haired setup there.
Situation.
Yeah.
Lots of mustaches.
Lot of beard.
Not fully invested in that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not invested. I'm just curious.
Just experimenting.
I'm just wondering. Anyway, yeah, a lot going on here. Just the $3 tip. You ended with that, and I feel like it lost me.
We were on your side with the wolf, the white winter wolf.
I was
fully
fully
on your
on
side
board
with the soft, supple skin.
Yeah.
You lost us at the $2 tip.
Yeah.
I've got one more from you, and then I think that we should go to your final one.
I think you're right.
After that.
And I picked this next one, and I think you're really going to vibe with it.
Okay. Worm couple. I was V high and asked to take y'all's pic. Is very blurry, but still very cute. Email me if you want it, but let me know what color my pants were so I don't send it to some stranger. Now, the reason Talon says this is because I declared that 2022 was the year of the worm.
You did.
And I am just going to say, since I've said that, there's been so much worm news in 2023 that now I'm beginning to think that this wasn't a one-off. It might just be a worm's world and we're living in it at this point.
I think there's nothing wrong if, like, the beginning... Maybe it's not even the year of the worm, it's the decade of the worm. It was the dawn of the decade of the worm. It's worm era has begun.
Because it is kind of their planet and we're just living on it. Like, there's way more worms than there are people.
Is that true? That seems...
No, yes. What? Yes.
I haven't counted.
There's so many more worms. I
don't know. There's the ocean, so I don't know.
There's like 900 billion worms. And there's like 9 billion of us.
Worms?
And we just got there.
I'm okay with worms, except for Australian big, like, 3-foot long glow-in-the-dark worms.
Or Alaskan bullworms.
Yeah, or those.
Yeah, or those. Yeah. Those aren't good.
No.
I also love that, haven't we all taken some photos that we thought were really good when we're high, and then you look at them later and you're like, I really thought I was doing something, and I was doing nothing. I was giving nothing.
We all have. I know. Here's Elena's thing.
Expose her.
I'm exposing her. Friend of the show, Ravioli Woman, Elena. She likes to take lots of photos and videos of many things, but especially of me, especially in, I'm not gonna say inopportune times, but I definitely have a lot of video photo on my camera roll of just me in various states of sobriety or of influence, various states of influence. And I'll notice, I have a very funny video of me like grabbing the camera like it's paparazzi and be like, no, Not now. Also, fun fact about me, my eyes are just prone to like redness. I don't know if this is an aging thing. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I will.
As you age, your eyes just get redder and redder.
I have no idea. Sometimes I like yawn wrong and my eyes look like I'm just blazing it. And I swear I'm not. So I just think there's lots of times where I look probably as high as this person was.
Yeah. And I bet you take some good pictures when you're feeling like that.
I bet I do. I bet I do. I also take a lot of bad ones, but I bet I take some good ones.
Yeah. So worm couple, reach out.
What do we think if this is the era of the worm, what does that mean for us as a what are we doing? Like I understand goblin mode. I feel like worm mode would be like similar but different.
Worm is like you're industrious but underappreciated. And also you know how to have fun when it rains.
Okay.
So that's what I think going worm mode means.
I like that.
And you're a little squirmy.
And also, like, you could split yourself in two and be fine.
Yeah, and there'll be two of you.
Hey, Craigs. We got one more MC we want to give you. But first, thanks for joining us for another deep dive into the misconnection section. The theme song was written and performed by Rose Sherman. Follow her at Hey Shermy on Insta. And follow us at Craigexistential Crisis on Insta and TikTok for more fun. If you enjoyed our company, leave us a rating wherever you're listening. Or tell a friend about our services. Check the show notes for more info.
All right. We got last one here for you, Sarah.
Got one more.
One more. Take it away.
If you really need me so bad, you would talk to me instead of posting some bullshit to Craigslist misconnections.
I'm Talon Bigelow.
I'm Sarah Thompson.
That's the whole central conceit of the show, isn't it? That's us, fuck then, innit?
In it, Gov.
Yep. Do not contact us with any unsolicited services or offers. Please.
Don't post, whatever you do.
Yeah, I guess stop posting the Craigslist misconnections, because it's just a bunch of bullshit, turns out.
Turns out, just a bunch of bullshit. Hater.